Christian, how's your experience in the tournament so far? You guys have progressed through the group stages and now you're looking ahead to the knockout round. Talk about on the field competition and how the team has come together over this time.
Yeah, I think we always knew that it was going to be a difficult tournament. It's for me, in my eyes, one of the most difficult tournaments that we'll ever play, just with all the circumstances. But I think our team has responded extremely well after our tie and loss to San Jose and Chicago. We knew that it was going to be a tough game against Vancouver, and the boys pulled through. So now just trying to use that momentum into the round of 16.
Great, thank you. Our first question will go to Jada Evans. Jada, your line is now open.
Hey, Christian. Wanted to ask about Nouhou and the way that he seems to have really improved this season, or shown, in these past few games. Do you see that, or what have you kind of seen him or a change in him lately?
Well, I think Nouhou has the capability of being very special. He has the athleticism and the individual skill to take a player one-on-one, in the back. And so now we're seeing a little bit more of a complete Nouhou, and pairing him with Jordan and having Jordan do a lot of the work, offensively, while Nouhou can really focus on the defensive side. So we're trying to have Nouhou help Jordan out, on the defensive side. So it's been great to have that balance, especially on that left side, and Nouhou's doing his part for the team. But I expect him to deliver on the offensive side. I think that's something that he can improve on, and with time, I'm sure he'll do so.
Thank you. Our next question will go to Ari Wilgenwald. Ari, your line is now open.
Hey, Christian. With how the game went against LAFC in the playoffs last year, do you think that gives you any sort of mental benefit knowing that you can beat them in a knockout scenario like this, or does that not factor in when it's a new game?
No, it certainly factors in. Obviously, we played them in LA, in a more difficult environment where their fans were totally against us. All the odds were against us. So we understand that we can play LAFC and feel confident that we can beat them in a round of 16 matchup in Orlando. So we're going to have to play extremely well. Obviously we respect LAFC. We think that they're a very good side, but they still have some flaws, much like us. So we have to take advantage of those opportunities, and capitalize on being the better team on that day.
Thank you. Our next question will go to Felipe Maqueda. Felipe, your line is now open.
Hola, Cristian. Saludos de Seattle. Mi pregunta es, la historia entre LAFC y Seattle Sounders es muy corta, pero se ha convertido en una rivalidad feroz. ¿Cómo estás tú preparado? ¿Cómo está preparado el equipo? Decías que es un torneo difícil por las circunstancias, pero ¿qué podemos esperar de este partido en el que LAFC va a tratar de cobrar algún tipo de venganza?
Pues para mí tenemos que estar listos para la emoción del partido. Sabemos que LAFC quieren la revancha del juego pasado, de los playoffs, y pues tenemos que estar listos para esa emoción del partido y para lo que traiga LAFC. Es un equipo que atacan muy bien y se complica por todos los números que traen en el ataque, y pues tenemos que estar listos para eso y pues jugar bien en la contra, porque han metido muchos goles los contrarios contra LAFC en este torneo, y tenemos que obviamente estar listos para la contra.
Thank you. Our next question will go to Jason Mitchell. Jason, your line is now open.
Hey, Christian. Thanks for taking the time. It's obviously been a short training camp and some very draining matches. How are you feeling physically, and are you starting to feel closer to your normal regular season self in terms of conditioning?
Certainly, I felt like the first game was tough. We were cramping all over the place, and we were just trying to manage through. We have the ability to make a lot of subs, but I think as the tournament progressed, guys are starting to feel better. Our running stats are much improved from the first game, and I see the same thing happening against LAFC. Obviously, when you play later in the night, when it's cooler, it doesn't play that huge of a factor compared to other times that we've played. So certainly I feel better. I feel much more fit, being able to cover a little bit more ground, making better decisions on the ball. And, a lot of the time, especially in the first two games, it was how can we take advantage of our few opportunities that we had, and we weren't able to do so in those first two games. Maybe fatigue played a factor. So certainly against Vancouver we did so, and hopefully we can do so against LAFC.
Thank you. Our next question is to Mickey Turner. Mickey, your line is now open.
Thanks, Christian, for taking the time to do this. I was just curious about how the internal competition for places has been in camp and how that has benefited the team given some of the injuries that you guys have sustained.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Yeah. I was just curious about the internal competition for spots in camp and how that has benefited you guys with all of the injuries you've sustained.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, we can go down the list. I think a lot of players have been playing their part, coming off the bench extremely well. You can talk about Shane O'Neill, who was on a little earlier, playing fantastic, doing his part, staying fit. Alex, my brother, who also is ready at any point. You talk about JJ, you talk about Shandon. I mean, you name it. We have Will coming back. It's a very good group that we have here, and if we can push each other in training, we're going to be so much better. And that's always been, our motto here. The guys that unfortunately do not start play a huge factor in the game, much like Victor Rodriguez coming in off the bench against Toronto and MLS Cup and scoring a goal. So these guys are going to, catapult us to the next level. And I'm really looking forward to some of these young guys shine through.